Ramos Law serves people. We make the world a better place. We put people ahead of anything else. That's my name on this business. It's my face on the billboards. And what you don't see through any of that stuff is you don't see my heart. We've built this family, this Ramos Law family, in a way that will include you. And hopefully by the end of our representation, you also feel part of the Ramos Law family. I look forward to taking care of you.
Good morning, crew. It is Monday. It is August 17th. I am Matt Meister. This is Peaks to Plains weather, and this is Mornings with Meister. A couple minutes late early this morning, but thanks for being here with us, starting your day off on ending our stretch of 4 days here of some significant rain. I'm going to go back after we're done here and kind of total up what we've had across the area. Some folks kind of missing out, I understand that. That's how thunderstorms work. But it was another day of some good rain across the area. Check this out. Here's the radar estimated rain over the last 24 hours. In the bright green is where we had more than an inch. Some places got more than 2 inches again yesterday. And it was another day of some issues, particularly for the Aspen Acres fire, where there was another water rescue. In Beulah yesterday, some other flooding issues across the region. I was showing pictures of Game Gulch going over Highway 78 during our coverage yesterday. And we had a cluster of storms up across northeast El Paso County that produced quite a bit of wind, some of that in southern Elbert County as well. There was also some flooding that happened over the area. One of our Peaks to Plains storm chasers was out to the north of Rama and cut some water over the roads. We also had 1.5 inch diameter hail, which was the biggest report of the day across the region. That came from Peaks to Plains storm chaser Joseph Velasquez, who was off to the south of Hugo there, and he got that 1.5 inch diameter hail. We posted some video of his and the pictures on social media. And so, Peaks to Plains was out and about. Our weather together. We had the storms rolling out east across the plains last night, and they had severe thunderstorm warnings on them the whole time. But when they moved over the La Junta Airport, some of the automated National Weather Service weather stations, they didn't get any reports of of significant weather. So that's some good news. Outside this morning, here's how our day begins. And it is going to be a little bit different out there today. From Kissing Camels, our view, we have quite a bit of sunshine. Had a couple of storms in that area yesterday. Our view from Woodman Heights, looking at Pikes Peak, which did get a little bit of snow up there yesterday. Had some hail on the backside of it. Had some hail in Cripple Creek. But up at 14,115 feet, it was snow up there. I thought it was hail until I heard from my buddy Ted, who is the GM at the COG, and he's like, yeah, we had hail or snow up there yesterday. So, not a big surprise up on top of America's mountain. This morning, it is 48 in Alamosa. We've dried the atmosphere out some over the mountains. That's going to play a role in our forecast today. We've got 54 in Colorado Springs, Woodland Park, checking in with 53 and 60s elsewhere across the region. It's going to be a little bit warmer the next couple of days because we're going to have fewer storms around. Even though we have low-level moisture across the plains early this morning, and the dew points over the mountains aren't that bad, it's going to change during the day today. By the time we hit the afternoon here, we'll see these numbers drop off a little bit, and that's going to change things up as we move into the afternoon. So let's jump into our short-term forecast. Here's where we end up today in terms of temperatures. As we hit the afternoon, we will be a little bit warmer than we were the last couple of days. So I think 90s show back up across the eastern plains along the river. We get 80s elsewhere across the region today, unless you're up above about 8,500 feet or so. So Woodland Park, you'll be in the 70s today. But one of the functions of this is that there's going to be fewer storms around, and we're not going to have the cool air moving across the area from the thunderstorms in the afternoon that we have had for a number of the last few days. So let's watch what happens here as we move through our Monday, because we hit the afternoon and there will be a couple of storms around, but the coverage is not going to be like the last few days. In fact, the best coverage of storms should be to the south of the river and to the south of Highway 50. Skycast still shows one firing off up across the Palmer Divide here. It's either going to be the Palmer Divide or Pikes Peak. We'll see what happens in the afternoon. But that storm could put down some heavy rain, might produce some hail around 3/4 of an inch in diameter. So we'll keep an eye on that because there's still some low-level moisture out there, and we don't want to poo-poo that. But you can see in the afternoon here, just not as much activity as the last few days, and it's certainly not going to be as strong. And we are going to be quiet tomorrow as well, as we are ahead of a cold front that comes in Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. In fact, hot enough tomorrow, we're back to triple digits. Colorado Springs, we're back into the 90s. So when that front gets here, you will be excited about that because it's going to bring us a 10-degree temperature drop. The good news about this for tomorrow, the heat, is that it doesn't last all that long. At least we get a nice little break for Wednesday. Depending on the timing of the front tomorrow, might be a little bit better chance of a thunderstorm here as we head into the late afternoon. A lot of what you see here on Skycast for tomorrow is going to be some virga around. Some of this is not going to make it down to the ground. Some of it will, but these are not the heavy rain-producing thunderstorms that we had over the weekend. But there is a chance, if you hear some lightning, that'll stop after-school activities for the kids. That's where we are at this time of year, right? If you're a little league coach or, if you're a soccer coach or something, if you hear thunder, you really should cancel your practice or at least take a break for, until you haven't heard thunder for 30 minutes, whatever your organization uses as a, as your lightning issue. I mean, some technology is getting better now, so some places are using lightning within 8 miles or 10 miles, depending what it is. But take that stuff seriously for sure. So as we head into the evening here, Skycast is still putting out, maybe a better chance of some rain as we move into the evening with the temperature starting to come down a little bit. But I'm not overly concerned about, significant rain across the region tomorrow. But then you can see the effects of the front up across northeastern Colorado. And when that gets here on Wednesday, that is going to impact our short-term forecast. And we'll talk about that coming up here in just a little bit. All right, let's check in with you guys this morning. Love seeing all of the folks saying, hey, we had a nice little storm over La Junta early this morning. Yep, that was some of the action from last night, kind of trailing across the rest of the region. Clinton, he's here most mornings. He says good morning and happy Monday. Don says good morning. Don, good morning to you. Appreciate it. And Julia says a beautiful morning and blessed with the rain we received. But then she's like, we don't need snow on the peak yet, and sorry to the ones that got hail. Yeah, it's, some of us get higher impacts with some of this stuff than others. No doubt about that. My heart goes out to the folks in the Aspen Acres fire. That was a rough multi-day stretch there. As we talked about last week, right? We knew that would be the case. I know some places didn't get any rain over the last few days. My heart breaks for you too, my friends. Some of us had a little too much in some places. Feast or famine, right? Kind of how it goes, it seems. All right. It is 6:43 here. We're going to talk about our extended forecast when we come back. This is Mornings with Meister, and you are on Peaks to Plains Weather. Don't go anywhere. Love your yard with a new outdoor space from F&D Landscaping. From a new build to a new project in an existing yard, we listen and give you the yard you want within your budget. Lawns, water features, xeriscaping. We've got the artistic touch and technical know-how to bring the peak of Colorado outdoor living to your home. Reliable, trustworthy. Visit fblandscapes.com to schedule a free consultation today.
Hey Peaks to Plains viewers, this is John over here at Petrali Roofing. It's hail season here in Colorado, and you might think that your roof doesn't have hail damage, but think again. Hail damage is hard to spot from the ground. That's why Petrali Roofing does free 21-point inspections. Give us a call today. We'll come out and take a look. And if we do find hail damage and your roof qualifies for a re-roof, you'll get $250 off if you choose us to do that installation. So give us a call today, 719-375-8773. Have us come out and take a look today.
Emergencies are unpredictable, but you don't have to be unprepared. Peak Alerts sends you targeted emergency alerts in real time for the places that matter to you most, so you know what's happening and what to do next. Know first, act fast. That's the power of Peak Alerts.
Employee pricing is over, but at Phil Long Ford in Motor City, American value still means something. Colorado's best season, Phil Long's biggest discounts of the year, 0% financing, no payments for 90 days. And I'll throw $1,000 towards your down payment. Plus, get a complimentary 2-year premium maintenance plan.
That's the Phil Long way.
We'll beat any deal by $750, and we'll prove it only at the original Ford store in Motor City.
All right, so I told you late last week that early this week that the monsoon would be kind of shifting a little bit and we'd be bringing in some dry air as this high kind of works westward. That's certainly happening here. When you see darker colors, at least on the color table that we are using to display this data here, it does show you that we're shunting the monsoon off to the south, and that's one of the reasons we're not going to be as active the next couple of days. So the high ends up westward here. We're at Wednesday, so the fronts come in thanks to this system up across the northern waves, and it's really for the Wednesday time frame for the cities east of the mountains and for the towns east of the mountains. When we cool back Wednesday, the reason we get some storms is the low-level moisture that comes in with the cold front. It's going to take another few days here for the monsoon to kind of get reestablished. Notice that there's not a great tap there, but we get some storms on Wednesday because of the low-level moisture that we're pushing up against the eastern slopes of the Rockies. For the rest of the week, though, into the weekend, we do start working on the monsoon tap, and you'll see that develop here, especially as we head toward the weekend. We're starting to get that. It's mainly over and near the mountains initially, and then as we continue to thicken up here, we may get a day or two where we get some of that rain-cooled air, the outflow from those storms to start rolling across the plains, and maybe with time, our chance of storms east of the Rockies gets a little bit better. But the highs down here, it's setting up for a few days, so that tap's getting better. We start recirculating the moisture underneath it, and our chances for storms is going to go back up, especially over the western part of the state here and up Colorado Springs up against Pikes Peak, of course. We'll get some storms, and then maybe as we start moving toward early next week, we start to get the chance of some storms out across the plains. That's getting a little far out into the future for those specifics in the pattern, but it's something that we'll watch for this week on Peaks to Plains Weather, our weather together. So for Woodland Park here, a drier couple of days. Not to say you won't hear a rumble of thunder or you won't get a little bit of rain, but they are not going to do what they did over the weekend. We do get the effects of the cold front Wednesday, and that kind of opens up the door for daily thunderstorm chances again. The monsoon thickening up here over the weekend in the mountains, so the coverage gets a little bit better. And we'll keep storms in the forecast for the foreseeable future. Colorado Springs this week, our best chance of storms is post-frontal with the cool down on Wednesday. And then a couple of drier days, Thursday and Friday, temperatures back into the 90s. And then maybe we get those daily thunderstorms as the monsoon kind of resets back up, getting tucked up against the 14er here. And Pueblo, here where we can get some of that outflow coming off of the hills, get the eastern edges of the plume, and we'll start talking about the chance of some storms as well. So that's our hope. I mean, we still need water. We'll see what the weekend did to any improvement in the drought conditions coming up on Thursday of this week. All of that information flows into the USDA here over the next 36 hours. They do some processing of it, and then they release the drought monitor on Thursday, so we'll have that for you. We'll keep an eye on that. It wasn't a drought buster type situation, even though, you know, Denver had multiple days in a row that they were just getting hammered with rain. But it was different parts of the metro area that were dealing with it, and that's kind of what we had in southern Colorado as well. Different parts of the area were dealing with things. So I hope you got some rain in the last few days. Our best chances come back on Wednesday of this week. If you get something today, it's not going to be what happened over the weekend. So I just want to say good morning to Kathleen, who's checking in here. She says good morning. Let me check some of my other chat spots, what I got. Martha says good morning. And a couple other folks saying good morning as well. I appreciate you starting your day here with Peaks to Plains Weather. Thanks for being with us yesterday. Hopefully some of the coverage that we did, man, I did a lot of it, was useful to you. And that's what this is all about. This is our weather together. My friends, have a fantastic day. Get after it. Get something done. Tell somebody about Peaks to Plains Weather today. We would appreciate it. Have a good morning.
Recently just saw another patient. I saw her from middle on, and I know her mother and her father very well, and she's now a physical therapist in our community. These kids, they're having their families, and they still are coming in to see me after all these years. You know, they can move on and go to other places. They still come to me, and that means a lot. I'm Dr. John Lydiot from Springs Dentistry, and I'd like to invite you into our family.